Hi, welcome to the Thunderdome Arches podcast. That's not the real name, but we're going to work on it. I'm here with Ashley from the Lemon Collaborative. Ashley, please feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Yeah, I'm a former vet tech who decided to launch an influencer marketing agency that specializes in the niche of the veterinary industry. So now I manage 4 veterinarians and work with all different types of pet and vet companies just to find the most innovative and cool products that are out on the market, like Arch Pets. Period.
I think this would be a perfect time for product placement. This is where it's like, okay. The first question that we had for you, and we'll try to keep these interviews brief. Tell us a little bit about within the vertical you're focusing on. What is something that people don't know? So what do people not realize about vet influencing? Like, what's your biggest obstacle? Just give us a little bit of the sausage being made here.
Well, that's a really good question. I'd say the biggest thing that I come across is people think that a lot of influencers do this full time, when in reality, for my influencers, they're full-time veterinarians, but they create content on the side. Unless they move into more of a content creation role, but these vets are still actively, doing surgery, doing dental, seeing appointments, seeing clients. So they're really still in the trenches of the industry, but at the same time, they're able to educate their audience with new products that are coming out and that they support.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense that a vet would have like a vetted interest in good products, things that are wellness oriented. What sort of trends are you seeing? So, like anything that you're seeing in the industry that you like are excited about?
The biggest trend that I'm seeing is mainly people going into more of an ingredient conscious mindset. Like they don't want to put in fragrance or all these different ingredients that they don't even know how to pronounce into their products. And they don't want to use those products for their pets. Because right now, for example, like for me, I don't use fragrance in anything that I use on myself. So I'm like, why would I do that for my dogs? So I think that's the biggest thing I'm seeing is these ingredients are getting cleaner and cleaner by every year. Like every year I come out, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a new product that's even cooler. Arch Pets was a really cool one that I found because everything was up to my ingredient standards. I could pronounce everything. I could figure out what they were. I could do an easy Google search. Like I knew it top of mind. So Arch Pets was definitely one of those products that I'm really excited about.
Cool. I actually kind of want to pull on the thread on the fragrance. I'm unfamiliar with it. So, like, what is this? What's happening here?
Yeah, it's just a lot of these different things like fragrance, natural flavors, artificial flavors. You don't actually know what they are. So people will say like fragrance essence or something like that. And you're like, well, what does that mean? And they don't have to disclose it on the ingredient label. And if they did know what was in it, they would disclose it on the ingredient label, or if it was good enough for you. So that's where my mindset goes. I'm like, fragrance, what does that mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
So you really don't know. It's not transparent enough for me. And I saw it a lot in like my shampoos, conditioners, and makeup. And once I cut it out, I stopped getting a lot of my migraines. I had migraines for a really long time. And cutting that one thing out just shut off that sensor of my brain that was getting these headaches because of something that's so unnatural that we don't even know where it came from.
Yeah. That's the big knock on like candles, right? A lot of these candles are using like all sorts of artificial fragrances and chemical type ingredients that like are legitimately bad for you if you get them nonstop. And some people do light candles nonstop. Um, okay. So taking it out of the pet space, I'd be kind of curious. What sorts of trends or things are you picking up on the human space?
Yeah, so I'm seeing the same thing. I mean, in reality, what happens is the human side of things changes, and then 10 years later, the pet side changes. So we're seeing that transparency come through in a lot of brands, and I work with a lot of CPG brands with outside of the pet space, and I'm seeing that same thing, like natural flavors. People are disclosing exactly what's in those flavoring. If it's juice, if it's puree, whatever it may be. One of my favorite brands is Spindrift. They do a great job of actually providing every single ingredient, and it's all non-toxic. So I'm seeing that, but then also I'm also seeing the retro branding. That's like my favorite part of what's trending right now. And Arch, you guys have it, but that retro style branding. I'm from Austin, so it's everywhere here.
I was about to ask, so I was like, what brands are you crushing on right now? Like, I love the Spindrift reference. I think that we have a similar vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like anything that you're currently crushing on?
Gosh, I'm gonna blank on this one. There is one that I just picked up, and it's purple golden beef.
Ooh,
It's like this sauce, and their branding is just absolutely spectacular. Oh my gosh, I want to remember the name. It's those big blocky letters, like when you used to make an S in middle school, and it was like the 3
ooh,
lines connect them. It looks like that. It's very similar vibe to that.
love the S reference.
Yes.
One that every elementary schooler can remember.